Welcome to all the distinguished guests we have, every one of you, valued supporters. This is the annual Women's Resilience Centre event, Reset the Dial. Today we are uniting our hearts and our resources to make a real difference in rebuilding and resetting lives for those who have suffered domestic abuse and trauma.
Reset the Dial is such an exciting event. It's the first one, the inaugural event today, to allow corporates to learn about how they can support all families stepping out after domestic violence and trauma.
The Women's Resilience Centre is here to help and support the community.
Women's Resilience Centre and these events are just pivotal to supporting people that need help.
2 months ago, I was in a cycle of life-threatening violence, abusive violence, and I've been living in constant fear. Fate led me to Simone, an empathetic advocate with unwavering support and compassion, saved my life.
I think today's event's really important because it's about having a conversation about something that is really hidden. And unless we start having those conversations, we won't make the actions to address it.
The first thing we have to remember, only 1 in 20 people speak up.
Yes.
So if you think about that, only 5% of people speak up. It's happening. So it's happening in the workplace all the time. 1 in 3 women are going to suffer domestic or physical violence by a loved one in their lifetime. And 6 out of 10 women are going to go through some kind of abuse, bullying, harassment.
I think it's really important for people to understand that the scale of the problem. I think it's easy for us to think it's someone else's issue until maybe we come across someone that we know that's going through a bad situation with domestic violence and they feel that they have to hide behind a mask. And then you come to an event like this and you see that it touches so many. So it's really, really important and really powerful.
And often, and I found in my research that the victims of domestic violence aren't the ones to call the cops. They can't. It's the neighbors who hear the ruckus and then they call and then the police step in and then there's the pressure of who do I tell and what do I tell and the shame associated with that status.
Women make up more than 50% of the workforce, yet we're grossly underrepresented. We have different challenges and needs, and when we're fit with a crisis, we need to be able to have safe spaces to go and feel supported in our businesses that we work within.
The relevance of today was really about sharing stories, lived experiences, and learning. There's so much we just don't know. And when we can share together, that's going to be these stepping stones that we need to take.
I think it's really important, and I'm hoping that this will help inspire people in the room to make a difference. This is a really complex issue. It's really, really hard for many, many reasons, and we haven't come a long way in solving it yet. It's one of the biggest issues we face as a country, and I think this is a really important way of communicating the issues that are at hand and looking at ways that we can all work together and help people who are victims.
One of the most incredible things about these events is it really does bring together people from all across the community. It gives voice to those who actually really do need support. So it's an opportunity for us to be a contribution and actually make sure we're making a real difference.
New South Wales Police General Duties officers are spend 60% of their time responding to domestic violence. And that doesn't matter where you are in Sydney, regional, small, large towns, at minimum 60%. It takes up 50% of court time. So it's almost an epidemic. It feels like it's an epidemic.
The Commissioner Webb stated that 60% of all police call-outs are related to domestic violence. That is just an extraordinary figure if we think about it. And the real key to helping make a difference is corporations. Where people work, it's a big part of our lives, and if corporations can help reduce the impact of domestic violence and trauma, then we're going to step rapidly forward in a positive way.
So whilst New South Wales Police play a big role in responding to domestic violence, it's not just a policing problem. So Corporate Australia can play a big role in supporting victims, understanding the supports they might need, what services are available, and having policies in place that might assist a victim, whether it's flexible work, other equity type arrangements that might assist victims to maintain their role at work and supported through a process.
As a woman who works within violence and domestic violence in my corporate life, I know that corporate Australia really needs to take domestic violence very seriously for its employees. How they could do this in future is to remove the stigma around domestic violence, make it safe for that person to come forward and seek resourcing effectively, and know that there are means and services available for them so that they can continue to be a healthy, well and thriving employee for that business.
It's also incredibly important to raise funds, which is particularly what Women's Resilience Centre is aiming to do, to actually support women, and also the bigger agenda of actually creating awareness for what corporates can do.
The Women's Resilience Centre's core purpose is to provide support to women to reset and rebuild their lives. We provide trauma-sensitive, person-centred, supportive community centre, capability building programs, and lived experience mentoring.
The outcomes that we hope to achieve out of this event is firstly to allow every individual who attends to see how important this topic is, and to obviously build awareness of the Women's Resilience Centre and our services and our long-term support, and to also build camaraderie on this topic, because often it is a topic that people don't want to talk about. There's lots of advocacy, but how do we step forward and talk practical ways that we can all make a difference to reducing domestic violence and this scourge in society?
Amazing.
Really beautiful.
Really great.
Yeah, really privileged to be able to be around such strong women and to be able to support such a good cause.
I think the diversity of the speakers and the panel event was exceptional.
Amazing, fabulous, what a wonderful panel of women and a wonderful group of women.
The event was just an incredible opportunity to mix with so many incredible women in the field and men as well.
So in need of discussion and debate and raising awareness, so
absolutely
outstanding.
And we'll definitely be back next year because it was one of the best events, one of the greatest causes that we should support.
Amazing event, full of energy and hope for the future.
Oh, wonderful, very moving. The event was actually quite mind-blowing, the fact that people shared very intimate stories, which was incredible because it's such a hard topic to talk about, and people you wouldn't expect their lives to be touched, even one of our close friends as well. And the work that the Women's Resilience Centre does is incredible. It's our second event we've been to, and it won't be our last.
And there's so much all of us can do. Employers and people can do, government can do, but we can all do for each other to help make this a safer country.